So I got a question about meditation, and the problem was that there was anxiety while meditating and after meditation. So when you meditate, sometimes you can have these waves of anxiety, suppressed pain, you could say, fear, that bubble up, and it can be uncomfortable. And I've been meditating since 2005, 2006, seriously. And for me at least, it's been normal to have these periods of anxiety and whatever is bubbling up to the surface when I meditate. Now, why this happens, I'm not exactly clear on. I remember reading something about the fact that when you meditate, you allow your brain to communicate. So old places become uncovered and bubble up to the surface. Now, I have no idea if that's true, but it was something about the default mode network, which is your brain chatting away, talking away, and that when that's quieted, when you meditate, it's more likely that you can access these places that have been long forgotten. So to me, the why is not so important. What's more important is that when these waves of anxiety come up, what I've found the best is to just meditate through them or to embrace them, even if I'm not meditating. So I eventually, after years of meditating, because at first I tried to avoid them, I would fall back into avoidance behavior, like watching movies or eating something or even over-exercising to get rid of the emotion. But eventually I began to see that the anxiety that came up was an opportunity for me to embrace it, to learn to not take my thoughts and feelings so seriously. Now, I'm not dismissing any pain I have. It's more like I'm compassionate and open to my own experience instead of pushing it away or doing something with it. So that's something that I did. Something else you could do is try different ways of meditating. So I don't know in what way you're meditating right now. We have stuff like vipassana, noting, labeling, which is just labeling things as they come up. So if anxiety comes up, you can label it generally, like, okay, anxiety, sensation, thought, or you can go into more specifics, like childhood, and whatever happened. So it's just labeling. You can probably find a lot of information about that if you search for it. And then you have meditations that are more focused on concentration. So a book you might want to check out for this is called The Illuminated Mind by John Yates, I think it is. So I'll link that up near the video here. And something else you could do is to meditate less or for shorter periods of time. So if you meditate for an hour, maybe you do 30 minutes. If you meditate for 30 minutes right now, maybe you do 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And just play with things and experiment and see what works for you, because ultimately this comes down to you doing what works for you and learn to listen to your own body and mind. So I guess the mistake here is that meditation is not about eliminating bad states and feelings. It's not like if you meditate long enough, you'll reach this place where there's only positivity and equanimity. Now, you have stories of people who have done that, but for most, I don't know. It's something you will have to find out for yourself, but it's more like you begin to be more okay with being you. At least that's what I found after having meditated for 14, 15 years, since 2005, like I mentioned. So I don't take my mind and thoughts so seriously. I still may feel the anxiety or the fear. I may have days where I feel tremendous anxiety in my body and just feel like everything is hopeless and meaningless, and all that is going on within me. But I know not to panic about it. I just let it be there. It's just a normal process of the body. It comes and goes. And I'm more aware of, if I get involved in that, how I create the experience, how I resist it or do something with it because I feel my thinking. So if I think, oh, this is bad, I shouldn't be like this, I've meditated for this long, I shouldn't be feeling any of this, then all of that creates tension. And whatever I'm feeling is okay. I don't have to be someone else or go somewhere or do something. That movement happens naturally within me if it's needed. But I don't have to panic about it in that moment. So to begin wrapping this up, if you have a lot of trouble, you may want to work with a therapist, psychologist, or even a meditation teacher if you can find a good one. I never did, but I'm a bit stubborn. I just worked my way through this on my own. And I just eventually realized that the mind is all bark and no bite. My mind can come up with disaster scenarios and try to scare me, but at this point I just embrace what's going on. I feel what I feel. And I smile at my mind because it's going through its process. It's going through the experiences and thoughts, ideas, assumptions that it has learned throughout my whole life. It's processing whatever has been put in there and whatever it thinks will help me survive, succeed, whatever I've learned is important. But it comes down to compassion, being compassionate with myself. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm simply me living my life and being open to my experience, not being afraid of whatever is going on. And then working my way through that. But it's not even working my way through anything. I'm just living life, and my feelings go up and down. My thoughts are sometimes positive, sometimes, if you want to call it, negative. So it's just this natural ebb and flow of energy and not energy, if you want to get vague about it. But I think I'll end it there. My way has been to just find my way through this myself. There is anxiety sometimes during meditation, after meditation. If there's too much, you may want to relax a bit with meditation. But mostly I just embrace it, welcome it, whatever feeling is there, because I've had the most dark emotions and thoughts come, and I've embraced them, and beyond all that, nothing happens. That's why I said the mind is all bark and no bite, is because there can be this tremendous amount of threat that something is going to go wrong. But if you feel your way into all that, at least that's what I did, embrace all of it, I let it wash over me, and nothing happened. If anything, through that madness is peace and relaxation, sometimes. So I'll end things there. I hope this was helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.